the Catskills. To the geologists, it's a mature dissected plateau carved by eons of water. To the historians among us, it's the legendary backdrop of Washington Irving's Rip Van Winkle, a wild, mysterious frontier that once loomed just beyond the safety of the Hudson River Valley. For centuries, this massive patch of wilderness just north of the metropolis has held a singular gravity in the American imagination. For decades, from the 1920s right up through the 80s, hundreds of thousands of New York City families embarked on what was a cultural imperative: pack up the car with their trusty folded road map, navigate the New York State Thruway and back roads for a few hours to give your kids their only opportunity to see nature as well as the stars. This was the era of the great resorts. Some called it the Borscht Belt, others just called it upstate. It was a golden age of limbos, magicians, and summer romances. A time governed by a strict social code: never be late for dinner, always tip the staff, and, as a matter of policy, nobody puts baby in a corner. But while the resorts were busy enforcing the rules of the dance floor, the mapmakers were busy breaking the rules of geography. Some of those trusty road maps, required to guide the way, harbored a lie about the existence of a small town called Agloe in Delaware County, New York. Welcome to NULL Coordinates, a channel that documents the world that isn't there. In this episode, we examine the history of Agloe, New York. Our story begins in the early 20th century, a time when map-making was laborious and expensive. Hiring draftsmen, checking spellings, working on colors. Finished products were in many cases works of art. Maps weren't just guides, they were treasures. And where there is treasure, there tends to be piracy and forgery. Pirates would often copy legitimate maps rather than spend the resources to survey the land themselves. Proving theft in court was nearly impossible because maps describe reality. If two maps are accurate, they really should look identical. Between 1930 and 1970, the General Drafting Corporation was one of the big three publishers of American road maps. But success brought parasites. Despite their best efforts, they constantly fell victim to pirates who would copy their work rather than survey the land themselves. To catch these thieves, founder Otto G. Lindbergh and his assistant Ernest Alpers set a trap. They planted a fictitious town in the New York Catskills called Agloe. The name wasn't random. It was an anagram of their own initials, OGL and EA. Decades later, the trap was sprung. Rand McNally, the titan of the industry, released a new map of New York. And there, sitting at the intersection of Route 206 and Morton Hill Road, was Agloe. Lindbergh and Alpers sued. They had planted the fake town. Seeing it on a competitor's map was the smoking gun. It should have been an open and shut victory. But Rand McNally's defense was a shock. They admitted Agloe was on their map, but they insisted they hadn't copied it from general drafting. They had copied it from reality. Their cartographers had driven to those exact coordinates and found something impossible: a building, a real business, serving real customers, with a sign above the door that read, Agloe General Store. The business owners had apparently seen Agloe on a general drafting ESO map, assumed that was the area's name, and named their building after the map error. The court ruled in Rand McNally's favor. The defense was perfect. The map didn't lie. The world had simply bent to match the map. But there is a footnote to this victory that locals have whispered about for decades. According to the families who lived on this dirt road, there never was an Agloe General Store. Records show the building at that intersection was actually a fishing retreat called the Agloe Lodge. And the group that bought the land and named it that, they were called Agloe Associates. They bought the property for exactly $1. The local theory is simple. Agloe Associates was just a shell company for Rand McNally. They didn't find a town named Agloe. They bought a shack, renamed it for $1, and created a physical alibi to avoid a copyright lawsuit. The map didn't predict the future. The mapmakers just paid to change it. Next time, we investigate a ghost in the machine, an island confirmed by Google Earth, but missing from the ocean. This is Null Coordinates.